This image, by the way, as you can see, is courtesy of the New York Times. I jacked their page for a second because I wanted y'all to see Trump's cabinet. On Friday, Donald Trump announced his first Black nominee to be part of his presidential cabinet for his new term. The Donald picked Scott Turner. Y'all might know Scott Turner. He is a former Texas lawmaker, former NFL player. Well, he was selected by Donald Trump to lead HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, that was a position, if you didn't know, that was held in the last administration by Dr. Ben Carson. See a pattern here? Maybe when Trump did black jobs, this is what he was talking about, the Secretary of HUD. Anyway, Trump is trying to round out his cabinet, as you can see. And look around. Look at all these fools in his cabinet. Just look at them. Look at them. Mehmet Oz, Medicare and Medicaid. EPA, Lee Zeldin. The UN, at least Stefanik. Robert F. Kennedy for Health and Human Services. I mean, come on. These are insane choices. And honestly, Scott Turner is one of the less crazy choices, to be honest. And I want to be clear here. I don't give a damn if Donald Trump picks 10 black people or no black people. The goal of politics for me is to get our needs met. The goal of advocacy and representation is to represent our interests, not our skin color. So I don't care if Donald Trump had all black people or no black people. The fact that he doesn't choose black people is just a reminder that, you know, some of you Negroes who voted for Donald Trump believing that he has some deep investment in black people and that he would offer a representation of black people as evidence of that. Y'all were simply wrong-headed in every way imaginable. But I ain't mad at you for that. If Donald Trump advanced our interests with all white people in office, I wouldn't like it, but I'd accept it. I'd rather have white people who advance my interests than black people who undermine them. But Donald Trump ain't doing either. I mean, Donald Trump literally, I'm not even exaggerating here. Look at this image. Donald Trump literally has more people named Doug in his cabinet. There's Doug Burgum. There's Doug Collins. He literally has more people named Doug than he does black people. 2 Dougs, 1 Negro. Just saying. So when you look at Donald Trump's cabinet, when you examine his plan, there's no doubt that Negroes ain't part of it. And a lot of people are upset about that. And I refuse to echo the bourgeois liberals, Democrats who are demanding more representation. What do you think he's going to do? Would you like 5 Ben Carsons? Like what do you want? He's not putting Huey Newton in there, you know, or rather Fred Hampton Jr. maybe, right? Like you're not getting a black radical, even if you get a black person in there, you're going to get more of the same. So I don't need 5 more Scott Turners. I don't need 10 more Ben Carsons. That's not what I want. I want a different administration. I want different leadership. Because if we go the Biden approach and have lots of representation of black people, which again, I respect from his political perspective, which is to say, you know, black people brought me here. They made me president. I owe political debt to black people and black people want this. So I'm gonna give it to them. And these people represent my interests. You know, I'm good with that. I just don't agree that these neoliberal African-American politicians represent my interests. But if I thought they did, then I'd be good with it. You know, at the end of the day, representation and identity politics is not going to save us. It's advancing an actual radical, material, concrete politics that speaks to our needs and our interests. So, but it's still funny that Donald Trump waited to the last minute to get a Negro. If you think he ain't doing that to also play to his base, y'all crazy. Donald Trump knows what it means to not pick Negroes. He knows that every minute that Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or whomever is challenging Donald Trump for his failure to pick black people, he knows that there's a group of white people and a group of right wingers and a group of extremists and a group of racists who are excited and even emboldened by that fight, by that struggle. So just keep that in mind that Donald Trump has a plan here. But it's not just about it's not just about him choosing a Negro. That's cool and everything, but there's bigger fish to fry than just that. Donald Trump is rounding out his cabinet, not just with a black person, but with some extreme choices. One of his latest picks is even drawing concern from the MAGA loyalists. That's right. Even MAGA people are like, yo, dude might be too much sauce. His name is Sebastian Gorka, and he's been named the Senior Director of Counterterrorism. Getting an extremist to oversee the Office of Counterterrorism scares me a little bit. He'll be part of the National Security Council, and he doesn't need Senate confirmation, so this is basically a done deal. Gorka is the son of Hungarian parents who fled to the UK after a failed uprising against the Soviet Union. He later immigrated to the US and became a naturalized citizen in 2012. Gorka was part of the first Trump administration for about 4 months. Then after 4 months, he got the boot. So he did what any good Trump expat, so to speak, would do. He went to Fox News, where he became a part of the team there. He had a show on YouTube. And get this, dude was on YouTube and spread so much misinformation that he got banned from the platform. He was too crazy for YouTube. Now he's on Newsmax, which is like an extreme crazy version of Fox News. We'll see how long that lasts. Well, it won't last long because he's going to join the Trump team. In the past, he has endorsed, unequivocally, he has endorsed racial profiling. He has basically said, he's implied, he didn't literally say it, but if you listen to his words or read his statements, he's basically implied that the majority of Muslims in America are terrorists. He was a staunch supporter of Donald Trump's Muslim ban, the one that seemed to get ignored by the Muslims in Michigan when they endorsed Trump. And he said that Muslim immigrants in America, quote, want to kill us. In 2017, there was this New York Times article, and in it, 2 U.S. officials who worked in counterterrorism called Gorka an Islamophobic huckster. So again, I was one of the people who very clearly and unequivocally said that life under Trump is going to be hell. Life under Biden hasn't been a dream. Life under Harris was going to be tough for lots of reasons, but I'm not going to romanticize what life under Trump is or was going to be. And for Muslims, for Black and brown folk, for South Asian folk, it's going to get awful. And I think it's important that you know that. Everyone kept saying, oh, we already know we're going to get with Trump. And that's true. I don't think there's going to be a ton of surprises with Trump. I don't think there's going to be a ton of surprises with Donald Trump. But the problem is, even without surprises, Donald Trump is tough. He's putting together a team that makes no bones about hating poor people, hating Black and brown people, hating democracy and equity and justice and all these things that they have now demonized and racialized and pretty soon probably criminalized. So please understand what we're into. Please understand what we're facing. Please understand what the worst case scenario is going to be here, because we're pretty much looking at it, y'all. Just my thoughts.